So one of our goals with this resource study is to expand this beyond just a book study because there's so many things that relate to this. And so what we've done is we've gone through and we've curated some other resources. So what we have tried to do here is grab some quotes that are specifically from the chapter. So you may not have read this chapter, this workflow. That's okay. But to get you a little taste of the content in there, to drive your thinking, you're going to look at this bolded text on these posts down below. There's 3 of them. Just pick one. Just pick one of these posts that really resonates with you and uh, listen to the attached podcast. So down here, you'll see there's the text, and that's the quote. Read that. Maybe you really like this one. Click on this link that'll get you to the podcast, and then the time or the length of that podcast is here in parentheses. You'll notice this post has 2 because they're both shorter podcasts. This one has a longer one here as well. So these first 3 here are actually Catlin Tucker's podcast here. It's called The Balance, and that can be found anywhere. So you don't have to necessarily go and click on this thing here and listen on this link and listen on your computer. You can go look for The Balance on any phone, any podcast player. So if you're on Android, I use YouTube Music for podcasts, but Spotify works on any device. Podcast Addict if you are on an iPhone, Apple Podcasts has like 80% of the market share. Like that's a really big one. They're completely and totally free. You can download them on your phone. You can listen to them in pieces as you're walking around. It's great. So this one is called the Modern Classrooms Project with Kareem Farah. Ooh, I should know that considering we work with them all the time, not him specifically, but you have probably heard us talk about the Modern Classrooms Project quite a bit. So that's that one there, and that's about an hour-long interview. Then these 2 podcasts, these are also The Balance with Catlin Tucker, 2 different ones. So you can just click on this. This is her stuff about station rotations, which is really great stuff. And this is a keep, start, stop strategy for feedback. And then this last one is the only one not by Catlin Tucker. This is about feedback, or this concept of feed forward, from one of my other great thinkers in education and ed tech, specifically Jennifer Gonzalez. So she has a podcast called the Cult of Pedagogy podcast, and you can again go find that anywhere on any podcast player, or you can listen to it here on her blog posts or online. So your job here is just to find a quote that resonates with you, and then listen to the attached podcast link. I'm having a hard time thinking today. Well, it is Friday at 2:15, so that's what we're working with here. And then that is it. You can move on to the next activity, because the stuff you're engaging here is going to be a little bit longer, a little bit more in depth, and so there's not a specific reflection task tied to this. So just be thinking about it, engage with that. How does this work with your conception of feedback and the feedback practices in your classroom? Then you can solidify your thinking in the next activity. All right, have fun.